morning. It's always great to come to this conference and see the room grow and get fuller and fuller. And Jolly shared with me earlier that many of you are at this conference for the first time. If you're here for the first conference, raise your hand. That's amazing. That is fantastic. Congratulations, Jolly. This is great. You know, for the Arc of Indiana, it's really important to us to have partnerships. And, you know, it has not been too long that the Arc of Indiana has gotten extremely engaged in the education of those students who receive special education services in Indiana. We used to leave it to other groups to do that, but probably about 10 years ago, one of the groups that was kind of spearheading special education, they dissolved, their leader passed away, and they told us that it was time to take the torch. And so we have done that, but we have only been able to do that because of all of the great partnerships we have. And we not only include Indiana IEP, but all of you in this room. As our partners, because we cannot do it without you. You guys all play a very unique role in the lives of our students, and not just the lives of the students with disabilities, but every single student. And that's why it's so wonderful to see so many gen ed teachers in this room, because we all play a role. You have a unique perspective each day to inspire your students, to teach them how to set their goals, to teach them to set the path to achieve those goals. You help us in making sure that they set the bar high, because we too often hear the results when the bar is set too low, and we're trying to overcome that, because people just around our state who are not involved in what we do, they're still learning about what people with disabilities are capable of. And I think that's because for so many years we set the bar too low. But times are changing, and so many of you in this room are helping us set the bar high. And people with disabilities are achieving more than they ever thought that they could, and we owe that all to you. So thank you for everything that you're doing. Usually when I get ready to ask this next question, I know the answer I'm going to get, but I honestly don't know what I'm going to get today. So how many of you a few weeks ago watched the governor's State of the State address? Okay, I was really hoping to see more hands. So the reason why I was thinking I might see more hands is because there was all this hype that he was going to make some promises to teachers, to education, about salary, wages, benefits, professionalism, and all of those things. Congratulations to all of you who took part in Red for Ed. So how many of you supported Red for Ed? Okay. So my office is literally across the street from the State House. We are right at the corner of Market and Capitol. We could barely work that day, but we were so thrilled. You guys set the bar really high on rallies. We hold rallies. We do not hold a rally like you guys hold a rally. And so we will always think twice now before we hold a rally. But you guys did exactly what you were supposed to do. And so the conversations that you have generated from that day have been phenomenal. And the ARC absolutely hopes that you get the outcomes that you want from that day. And so just know that you have a partner with the ARC of Indiana and that you guys did a tremendous job. But I want to focus just a second on the governor's State of the State address. So as Jolly mentioned, my whole life has been in public policy and government. So I'm a junkie. So every Tuesday when the governor gives a State of the State address, I'm either there or I'm in front of my tea making notes. And this governor in particular was the first governor who did not include people with disabilities in any of his State of the State addresses. And so every year after the State of the State address, I would write him a letter, and I would have gotten a transcript of his State of the State address, and I would highlight where he could have included a statement about people with disabilities as well. And then I would always get called into his office for this nice little conversation that led to nothing. But this year, he did include us. And he included us when he was talking about the workforce crisis that the state of Indiana is facing. He included us when he was talking about we needed to start looking about how we are building job skills in our state. How are we creating opportunities for vocational training for those who don't want to go on to a four-year college and afterwards. We have been touting him for a long time, and actually not even this governor, but previous governors. You know, whenever you come down into our city, there's a big sign at the top of the government center that says Indiana, a state that works. Can we not be an Indiana, a state that works for all? So we really have been working on him. And so finally, in this year's State of the State address, he said he wants Indiana to be a state that works for all. And that includes people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. That was a huge win for us. But we can't do that. We can't help him achieve that goal if you all don't help us. And that is the role that, again, you guys play each and every day with the students that you see. I am so thrilled when there's conferences like this, because we attend these conferences to not only get new ideas, steal ideas from other states, we learn about new partnerships, but quite honestly, if you're like me, you leave these conferences extremely energized and ready to put into practice everything that you learned. And so we encourage you to do that. I know that this conference has fantastic speakers, fantastic sessions. The books that you receive are all fantastic. I've read them. And they give you the tools that you need to not only do your job, but to excel at it. And again, the role that you play with our students is important. It's critical. And we, again, appreciate all that you do each and every day. I know you guys had a great day yesterday. You guys have a great day ahead of you. I just encourage you to absorb all that you can in making that difference, because it is you who really does make the difference in the lives of all students, and we appreciate all that you do. Jolly, thank you for including us. We're very thrilled to be a part of this conference, and we know it's a great one. Thank you. So it's good to see you.